Hey, what's up everyone? It's Graydon from Reduce Waste Now, and today we're going to go over part 1 of 21 zero waste tips you've never heard before. So I was at my local grocery store, just started thinking, what are some unique zero waste tips? Because I think you can all agree that most of the tips you find are all the same. Use a reusable bag, take a drink bottle with you, say no to straws. It's pretty boring, effective, but pretty boring, and we've all heard that millions of times before. So I decided to put a list together of 21 unique zero waste tips to help you go zero waste. I asked a group of 104,000 experienced zero waste enthusiasts what zero waste tips they would have wanted to know when first going zero waste. Every response could be broken down to this: get some gloves and take a look through your garbage. You'll see exactly what you're wasting, so you know where your problem areas are and what to fix. Okay, let's look into some common problems and see what you need to do about it. I find the best part about going zero waste is that I'm not alone. There's so many other people out there trying to do the same thing as me, reduce my day-to-day waste. So this is really great actually, because a lot of the problems aren't unique to me. Many other people have the same problems. So I found that some of the most common problem areas are buying plastic packaging when grocery shopping, buying things that I didn't necessarily need or already had, and not realizing I can reuse some of the things that I thought were disposable. I get how the zero waste lifestyle can seem extremely overwhelming at times, but one of the tips I actually got from the group of people that I asked was to take things slow and make small changes every day. There's really no need to rush into things and start from scratch by throwing everything out, then buying all the green products that you see advertised. Okay, let's get right into these 21 zero waste tips. Tip number 1, when ordering takeout food, bring a reusable bag to pick it up. Sometimes you just need an easy meal so you don't have to stress about dinner. I get that. I do that a lot. I find that if you ask the restaurant to have the packaged meals ready, no napkins, plastic cutlery, anything like that, and on pizzas, the little plastic table stands, just ask them to remove that. You just pick the whole meal up with a reusable bag. They'll let you do that, no problem. It's a bonus if you find a restaurant that packs the food in compostable containers. Like Mucho Burrito does that, for example. I don't know any other restaurants that do that, but I know Mucho Burrito does that. Okay, tip number 2 is to buy electronics secondhand to avoid the plastic packaging. I'd really only recommend this tip if you're okay with no warranty. On some electronics that should be okay, like a speaker for example. If you go on Craigslist, find a nice speaker that you like and buy it through there, you're going to avoid the plastic packaging that you would have if you went to a store. However, for more important electronics like phones or TVs, something like that you want warranty on, you might just have to bite the bullet, get the plastic packaging, buy it new in store. Tip number 3 is to always find ways to reuse or upcycle. Before you buy something, make it a habit to ask yourself if you're able to make that product from something that you own to serve the same purpose. A good example of this is when I was looking to buy rags for my new place. I realized that I still had old work clothes from a couple of years ago. They're pretty torn up already, so I just cut around the cuts. I just cut them into squares and I had my rags. Tip number 4 is to look for bars over bottles. If you need soap or shampoo, get the bars of soap and shampoo bars. This is a really easy way to avoid using a plastic bottle each time. But if you do already have the plastic bottle of shampoo or soap dispenser bottle, just use it up. No need to throw it out right away. Just get the bar next time. A great place to get the shampoo bars. I've heard a lot of you comment on my Instagram posts with the shampoo bars in them. That Lush sells amazing ones, so feel free to check that out. Also, if you're feeling crafty, you can always clean the bottles out and use them to dispense the perfect portion of oil into your pan for cooking. Make sure that you clean the bottles out really well though, because I'm sure it wouldn't taste that great if you had a little bit of shampoo in your food. Tip number 5 is to refill your fabric conditioner bottles at a zero waste shop. One of the zero waste enthusiasts told me that she ran out of fabric conditioner, kept her bottle, then refilled it at a local zero waste shop. She said that it was even cheaper than buying a new bottle from the supermarket. This tip doesn't just apply to fabric conditioner. You can also use the same concept with cooking oil bottles, laundry detergent, and really anything that you can refill at a bulk food store or a zero waste shop. Tip number 6, swap baby wipes for an old piece of clothing. Most of the time, baby wipes will come in plastic packaging, so when a product only comes in plastic, it's best to find a plastic-free alternative. Sometimes that can be difficult, but in this case, we can do it. To cut down on using baby wipes, you can find an old piece of clothing that maybe doesn't fit you anymore, you don't really wear it much, or you're gonna give it away, and you just cut it down to 5x5 inch squares so you can wipe your kids' faces and hands after meals. Make sure it's not a rough material, because I'm sure if you use denim to wipe your kids' faces and hands, they wouldn't be too happy. Okay, tip number 7 is home cook as much food as you can. This will help you avoid the tempting snacks that only come in disposable plastic, like chip bags, for example. This is actually one of my favorite things to do while cooking, and it's to make way more dinner than you can eat, store it, then portion it into snacks for the week. Make sure it's not food that can go bad like really fast, like fish or anything. But anyways, we can call that snack prepping, and it's perfect for you or your kids when you're feeling snacky. Okay, tip number 8 is to reuse the bag your frozen burritos came in. If you have a big bag of frozen burritos in your freezer and it comes in a plastic bag, you can reuse that. It doesn't have to be frozen burritos, but that's just what I had in my freezer a while ago, so I thought I'd use that as an example. Once you're done eating the frozen food, wash the plastic bag out really well, and you can use that to freeze berries for smoothies or bananas to make banana bread. This works really well because once you've eaten all the berries or made the banana bread, you can just clean out the bag and reuse it again. Tip number 9, do an honest inventory of your pantry. You may have loved cooking years ago, or maybe you wanted to get into baking more, but you just don't have the time for it right now. Take a hard look at your pantry and write down everything you can to cut down on. During my second year of university, I had to do this. I wanted to get into making hummus from scratch on the weekends, so now I have numerous cans of chickpeas in my cupboard from various sales, like 99 cents for 2 cans. I can't pass that up. But anyways, I had to make a note of that and realized that I was just way too occupied with school and reduced waste now to take the weekend and make all that hummus. So my hummus dreams have been put on pause for now, and I'm saving a lot of waste by realizing that. And to stop buying so many cans of chickpeas, there's just way too many in my cupboard. Tip number 10, look for glass pasta sauce jars. This doesn't have to be specifically for pasta sauce, but that's just what came to mind when I was thinking about my own shopping, because I don't really buy anything. Oh, banana peppers too, I guess. Yeah, pasta sauce and banana peppers. So if you just switch your pasta sauce and banana peppers purchases from plastic jars to glass jars, you'll be able to reuse the jar and reduce plastic waste. Once you've used up all the sauce, you can clean the glass jar and store pasta, peanuts, spices, homemade toothpaste, anything you want. And of course, you could just make pasta from scratch and store it into your old glass pasta sauce jar. Tip number 11 is to reuse your Ziploc bags. A lot of the people that I know have a massive supply of Ziploc bags in their kitchen. Although I do recommend using Pyrex reusable containers, if you already have the plastic Ziploc bags, you might as well put them to use and reuse them. Never had I actually thought about doing this until my roommate showed me. I walked into the kitchen and he had about 7 empty Ziploc bags hanging around the kitchen and drying them out. I didn't really agree with the new interior design for the kitchen, so I had to ask what he was doing. And he then explained to me that you can store snacks, sandwiches, anything you want into the Ziploc bag, and then after you're done with it, fill the bag with warm soapy water and clean it out. He hung the Ziploc bags up around the kitchen to dry them out, not to bring a unique style to the kitchen. So I was okay with that. Okay, so that concludes part 1 of the 21 zero waste tips you've never heard before. As I said earlier, the key takeaway from all these zero waste tips is to go through your trash. You need to know what to cut down on before you can reduce waste. If you learned anything from this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with family or friends who want to know more about the zero waste lifestyle and how they can improve in it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in part 2 of 21 zero waste tips you've never heard before.